what normally should be an amazing intro that is setting you up for a kick donkey story and an excellent universe, unfortunately for me, is the introduction to pure coleslaw. Welcome back. Howdy, cowpokes. It's time for episode 3 of Gambler 8 is Trash. It's such a stupid title. So, before I went and broadcasted, I noted some of the settings I have down. My game volume is at 20 out of 100. Microphone is at 100 out of 100. Bitrate, however, was always at 1500, so I pressed the automatic button. I have no idea what bitrate is. I imagine the higher it is, the better. So I pressed automatic. It calibrated for me, and it put it to max. It went from 1,500 to 6,500. I pressed it one more time, then it put it to 6,429. So I don't know what that's going to do to the quality, but I imagine it's going to be a lot better, as I am on wired connection. I'm not sure. I'll have to see in post. But I have noticed in my latest videos, especially for the Dead by Daylight videos, like Adept Twins, the quality was trash. Straight up, no sugarcoating it. Like, the quality was abysmal. And it wasn't always like that. So I guess I'll see now, after this video, if the quality is a bit better. Although, there's not going to be many changes of scenery or camera angles or any of that nonsense, because we're going to sit at a blackjack table real soon. So, Gambler 8 is Trash, Part 3. You already know. Gonna head to the table, and then we're gonna begin. We're gonna pull up our story and see where we were on our erotic fiction. I was thinking, if I had editing software, a laptop and such, I could actually make this very entertaining. I always have ideas for how I could improve things, but unfortunately, due to limitations, I run this channel through a phone and an Xbox. I have no opportunities to edit unless I want to use that app again that I edited that For Honor video with, which I already forgot the name of. Was it Power Director? Something like that. Something with a watermark. So, this time we're going to head to the blackjack table, all the way down in Blackwater. Opposite corner of the map from where I am. Just a coinky-dink that I so happen to be here, all the way on the top right compared to the left. And we will indulge. So, feast your eyes, as this will be the only gameplay footage you'll be seeing for the rest of this video, until I hit the blackjack table. Also, I really hope you like my horse. I found it up at the top of the map by Lake Isabella. It is the uncommon pure white Arabian. Freaking awesome. It's like Dutch's horse, but freaking, it's better, because it ain't Dutch's horse. Screw Dutch. Alright. I notice my volume is a bit lower. Is it the settings from the last time? Because those will be shifted back down. This game is lower than my others, so I have to go into my settings for the Xbox and turn it up so I can hear the game at a more preferred level. Alright. Still trying to 100% both games. I'm at 92.9 or either 93.9 on the first Red Dead Redemption. Been making good progress there. Kind of stagnant here because this is what I've been doing. I was thinking in some of the edits, I could have an unedited version and then an edited version where I'm like fast forwarding it with some music in the background, probably from the game. Then it randomly cuts to when something interesting happens or I say something funny. Simple stuff like that, like a montage of sorts. Unfortunately, can't do that. So we're stuck this way. But I'm still deriving some enjoyment from this, despite this being a very unenjoyable challenge to do it in the first place. The beard is still at level 8 of 9, so it's going to take us like 10 minutes to get there, so this episode might be an hour, not an hour, it might be like 10 minutes longer, because usually I'm trying to aim for about an hour and 30 minutes. But because it'll take some time to even get to the blackjack table, to the executioner's table, I might make this one 10 minutes longer or so. We'll see. But I won't do anything interesting while we're getting there, because I don't want to prolong it too much. It is pretty late. It's about to be 9. Yes, that's late for me because I get tired very early, thank God. Oh, it is 9. It's 9:04. As usual, if anyone joins the stream, because these videos come from a Twitch broadcast first, I won't be able to read chat, because we will be reading fan fiction. Now, this challenge will take way too long, and I'm gonna eventually finish that fan fiction. So what will I do then? Either I will continue reading more of the same erotic fan fiction. What I'm really debating is whether it should still be on Last of Us 2. Nobody gives me feedback for these videos because only people I know really watch these videos. So I'll have to decide whether I want to keep it in Last of Us 2 or branch out to other universes, as I call them. I'm trying to brainstorm what could be other possible ones. I wonder if there's anyone who's made erotic fanfiction with Talion from the Shadow of Mordor / Shadow of War series. Another one where Troy Baker plays the lead character. Straight white males. Death to all of them. They all get the golf club. The murderer's choice of weapon. Not much else to say. Been having a lot of fun 100% completing the first Red Dead Redemption. As said, not fully finished with that, because the challenges in that game are simple, due to the style of the game and, you know, its age. Much simpler challenges, but they're fun. They can be completed through skill and game knowledge. None of the challenges I've seen yet are bullcrap. Like this. I only have, I think, 4 categories left. I have the Master Hunter, Explosive Rifle, Treasure Hunter, and one more. There's another one. I'm trying to remember. What was it? It's Master Hunter, yes. Treasure Hunter. I'll have to cheat for that one, unfortunately, because I'm just not good at reading maps. The one I mentioned, Explosive Rifle. Is there another one? Because I've been on a roll. Who knows? Maybe I only have those 3 left. Only 2 more outfits to unlock in that one. Legend of the West and the Bureau uniform. You get the Bureau uniform from 100% completing the game. I hope there's no coleslaw, in the sense of, I hope there's nothing that I could have missed as John that stops me from getting 100% completion. Same with this game. I hope there's nothing that I could have missed with Arthur that stops me from getting 100% completion. Because I will, if I need to, make another save and do everything I need to do as the first characters. But it will be extremely unfortunate if that is the case. I could see it perhaps happening for Red Dead Redemption, the first one, because, you know, it's 10 years older. Some silly video game troubles in that one could arise. But obviously, this second one is much more modern, so I'm hoping that chances for bullcrap like that are much lower. I'm not gonna check the map to see how close we are, because that'll just make the trip take longer. Simple brain strategy. You know, if you think about it, it takes longer. Like, have you ever tried looking to see the sun either setting or rising? And same with the moon. If you're looking in their direction, not so much at the sun, because, you know, I don't need to explain why. But let's just say the moon, for example, yeah. If you try to see the moon, if you try to watch the moon set or rise, you can't. You don't see it move with your eyes. As soon as you look away, though, and then you look back, it'll move. Really weird. Don't know how that works. And another brain thing. The return trip is always faster. You know, if you're taking a long walk somewhere, maybe it's just a perfect distance where you don't need to take a vehicle of sorts, a method of transportation besides just walking. The journey there is always much longer than the journey back home. Or back to wherever you were before you set out. Don't know how that works. There's probably a name for it. There's a name for everything. But the brain is a powerful thing, man. Let me check to see if the mic is on, because I didn't. The mic is on. Praise be. Alright. For some reason, I'm feeling good about this one. I'm feeling real good about it. I feel like we might hit one of 3. I had a really interesting dream. One of the most interesting by far. I was a participant in Hell's Kitchen. Yes. We had to do our signature dishes, but it was weird. It had some of the rules of I don't know if it's Chopped or Master Chef, but we had one main ingredient, and that was noodles. And none of us knew what to do with noodles. And then Ramsey was just gobsmacked. He was like, because, you know, in Hell's Kitchen, these are supposed to be chefs. See, in Master Chef, there's a bit of an excuse, because these are, like, parents and people whose jobs, it's not a living to cook, you know? And in Hell's Kitchen, you have executive chefs, sous chefs, da-da-da-da-da, people who cook. And Ramsey was just dumbfounded at the fact that none of us had any idea what we were doing with noodles. So, I was gonna use Velveeta cheese shells and noodles. I don't know what the heck my concoction was, but I remember the dream very vividly, and I knew what I was doing. Like, I was a beast in the kitchen, which is weird because I don't know how to freaking cook. Like, I'm telling you, dreams are so weird in that way.
Maybe you got something to add here.
What?
Not just a cheat, but a coward? You piece of crap.
Come on. What did I do?
Let's start making gun smoke.
Oh, screw this. Ain't worth my kind.
What? I've never seen this.
John, seems like they play some different rules around these parts.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think I read that in the bottom of a bottle once.
Oh, don't you start to. Anyway, I'll see you back at Beecher's. That's enough excitement for one day.
This game. Okay, so there's an instance like this that can that can happen with Arthur way back in chapter 2. Yeah, because chapter 1's in the snow, real shortest chapter in the game. In chapter 2, when you guys are at Horseshoe, and Uncle gets kicked out of a bar or something, an establishment in Valentine. And then Arthur could help or intervene or just sit there and then tease him afterwards, which is what most people, including myself, did. I never saw this before. I've seen a lot of these in-game interactions, these random dynamic events, especially with the gang and the family. I've never seen that one. I didn't know that was possible. It's the exact same scenario, but with John. That was awesome. And from here, you could just greet and antagonize Uncle all the way back to Beecher's. Yep, there's his horse. That's freaking awesome. Alright, Uncle, see you later. I'm gonna go get sad. Alright, well, I've never seen that. I wonder if that's even available on YouTube or something. I might have to put that in the title of this video somehow. But it won't be clickbait, because it'll actually happen. That was freaking amazing. See, there could be some joy derived from doing this. Can you see my dread and sadness? So my friend gave me a tip. In order to win the hand, sit at the opposite of the dealer. Which, wait, let me read his advice one more time before I forget.
Let's go.
Because I will take any advice I can get, even if I know it's completely fabricated. His advice was...
Six.
Okay, his advice was...
Nothing for me.
I recommend you sit on the far left side of the table, if possible, or sit opposite of where the dealer deals the first card. I hope this helps. Alright. Far left, if possible.
Bets, please.
Far left of the dealer, or just far left of the table?
That's it for bets.
Far left of the table. Alright.
Sit down. Game's blackjack.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that random event, because it's time for the unfun bit. So I think this one will last, yeah, about 10 minutes longer. Of course, first hand, we will do this in complete calm and serenity. Oh my god, we have to bet big money on Blackwater. Yeah, I forgot. Nothing but rich psychopaths here. After this, though, I will pause the game, lower the volume, and we will get to reading. I need a hand like that, dudes. Sixes are all I want. Single digits. But even with that, you can lose just like that. What did he say? Wet pass?
Card, please.
That's that.
Come on.
Alright, folks. Let's begin. Let's lower the volume. Let's get nice and cozy. That interaction with Uncle was awesome. It's the exact same as the one at the beginning of the game. Which I think is a cool contrast because, you know, it's such a long time ago. That Dude, there's so many minute details in the game. It is more. So much love and focus. I got a nice Snapple with me. I'm drinking it through a straw. Alright, let's pull up our fanfic. And then get to spamming A. Tuck me into the sheets while there's Scotland. I noticed I reviewed some of the footage from the last video. I kind of slur through my words a bit. So I'm going to try to talk more clearly. By slowing it down some. Also, I am very itchy. Jesus. Okay, we're gonna reread a paragraph, and then we're gonna go right back to the present. Okay. Sorry, I have to get in the mood. I have to find my state of mind, because we're a bit deep into the story at about the nearing the halfway mark, and things are getting very bad, very bad. Friendly reminder for new viewers. What's going on here is I'm attempting the Gambler Challenge in Red Dead Redemption 2, where I need to ask for 3 cards and win the hand. The aim of blackjack is to get 21. If you go over, that's a bust. So you start with 2 cards, and I need to ask for 3 more cards and beat the dealer and whoever else is playing the game. And I have to do that. I have to do that 3 times. I won't explain all the coleslaw as to why it's so hard to do, but if you pay attention to the footage, it'll become very obvious as to why it's so difficult in a bad way. It's artificial difficulty, and this challenge is objectively terrible. And to pass the time, instead of focusing on just this repetitive dialogue and just me pressing A like a madman, I've resorted to reading erotic fanfiction. That's right. So let's begin. He released a huge dose of his scent before reaching his hand behind his back to tug Abby's hand free from under his ribs. He pulled it around his body more, like she might be holding him. In Lev's voice. Do I have a voice for Lev and Abby? No. I'm just going to talk normally. Keep breathing, he whispered, as her face betrayed her reaction. Her lips and eyes squeezed more tightly, and the frown extended well across the top of each eyebrow. When he brought his hand back around, it landed on Abby's upper arm. Again, it was his favorite part of her. Indeed, it was Lev's inability to resist Abby's huge muscles that gave him the courage to cross the fireside in the first place. Going back to the past, as this fanfiction has moments in the past and moments in the present. Now we're back to the past. When he first saw past being with Owen and Abby. When he first saw her, he thought she was a bloke. That's a weird choice of words for some Americans. 7 is a really strong hand. Hold on, I'm gonna pay attention to the game real quick. Harry, I wish you nothing but the worst. That's gosh dang right. I'm gonna have to beat a 19. 7's a good hand. Let's see how long it remains that way. The only challenge where getting blackjack is not what you want. Let's see if the dealer would have beaten me anyway. The dealer would have beat me anyway. When the dealer gets blackjack, he overrules everyone. You only beat the dealer if he sits with a less value than you, or he busts. Continuing. Granted, he was quite preoccupied at the time to give it much thought. When his sister said to cut her down, it was only... Oh, this is... Okay, hold on. So this has weird time skips in this fanfiction. It reads like... Oh, okay. So we're going from Owen to Abby to Abby to Lev to now in the actual game when Abby was strung up and hanging and Yara told Lev to cut her down. Interesting. Too bad, John. You're gonna get my commentary. Okay. This is actually kind of interesting. I should not be getting invested in erotic fanfiction. What the heck is wrong with me? Continuing. Granted, he was quite preoccupied at the time to give it much thought. When his sister said to cut her down, it was only afterwards he realized his mistake. As they were fleeing, the two of them, Abby and Lev, working in tandem to eliminate their pursuers, defend themselves and an injured Yara, he had been caught by their different styles of defense and attack, and couldn't help but be a little distracted by it, despite the levity of the situation. Lev was a more covert actor, sending in silent arrows from a distance, from the shadow. 18? I didn't even pay attention. Touch my meat, dude. Anyways, sending in silent arrows from a distance, from the shadows. He was able to scale trees and wait with patience. Abby was like a smash-and-grab terrorist. Her physicality didn't lend itself to quiet footballs, or hiding easily in the grass, and her weapons of choice were less quiet than she was, immediately alerting others to her location. And when she was out of bullets, she would just smash the enemy with a blunt object, a piece of wood, a mechanical tool, or her fists. How many insurance bets have we had to play? 3? Jesus Christ. Yeah. Let's game. Oh my god, I have a 17. Let me not lose hope. We're early in. Which is crazy to think that 22 minutes have already passed since I began. I swear to God, I started recording this 3 minutes ago. But like I said earlier, the brain works in mysterious ways. Where I'm in an uncoordinated, extravagant flurry of energy. Arms and fists, legs and feet, she would headbutt and grunt loudly through her assaults. Lev always thought it was a beautiful collage of ugliness. She was beautiful. Her face, her arm... Reminder to anyone that might be a bit confused regarding what I'm reading. Lev is a 15 to 14-year-old, in this story, I guess, 16-year-old. Abby is a 20 to 21-year-old woman. Lev is a transgender, identifying as a he, him. Damn, John. He, him. Abby is a biological and identifies as a strong, independent woman, killer of strong white males, and wielder of the golf club. So, if things get bad here, this is quite literally illegal. Okay, let's continue. I have this sneaking suspicion that I'm about to get my channel banned. Have I gotten 3 blackjacks in a row? Yo, imagine if this was the challenge, something a bit slightly more feasible, get multiple 2 blackjacks in a row. I would gladly suffer through that. Frankly, I am suffering through this terrible challenge as well, but not gladly. There's no happiness derived from this gameplay itself. It's what I am surrounding myself with. And it starts me at the 20. Eat me. Anyways. Sorry, I just read something funny that popped up on my phone. I really don't know how the ace... So, in the rules of blackjack, the numbered cards, obviously, they add the value you'd imagine. Face cards add a value of 10. Aces add whatever gives you closer to black. Aces can either give you 11 or 1. However, it seems like when an ace is played, it changes the value of the next card or something. I don't know how it works. I could read this to probably understand it, but I haven't read it. But just know when you see an ace, values are a bit shaken up. Not a good hand. Let's continue. No, I'm not giving you my dang insurance. Of course, this is when he's gonna get blackjack now. Come on. Anyways, I'm getting a bit too distracted. I need to be reading this fanfiction. She was beautiful. Her face, her arms, her mind, even her sweat was attractive to Lev. But it was ugly in that they lived in such a hostile, hostile, violent world that rendered such actions even necessary. Lev also thought that Abby's energy was wasted at times by disciplined use of her mind and body. If only her rage could be tempered and her movements made more economical, he often reflected. He thought every moment of unnecessary mental and physical stress and upset was a waste of Abby's essence. Ooh, 9 strong, hold on. Not as strong? Yes, you are, Mr. Marston. Whenever I say Mr., I keep wanting to say... Now, Mr. Morgan, that is a definite kick, my friend. He thought every moment of unnecessary mental and physical stress and upset was a waste of Abby's essence, and because he had come to love her, he wanted to preserve it. Going back to the present. Oh no. Oh no. I'm skimming through before I read, and it's not looking good. He allowed his finger, and when the story references a he, it's talking about this minor. Remember, Abby is a grown woman. Lev is a minor. He allowed his finger to trace the muscle definition in Abby's upper arm. It was a risk. He knew it. But a calculated risk. She was an alpha, he knew. Buzz had a strong protective streak. Hence, his moving her arm around him before touching her. So... He was hoping to manipulate her body and trick her mind. If her body was in a protective posture, her mind may be less likely to flee, responding instead to a caretaking instinct. It appeared to be working. He touched her very lightly, and she alternately froze, held her breath, twitched her mouth, released the breath, and frowned, more fiercely, but she stayed. She stayed, and Lev continued to watch and touch her arm, sometimes with his index finger, sometimes with 2, sometimes his whole hand, and then back again. Finally, she felt willing. I have to ask for another card. So this is the first time I've ever had 3. This is the first time ever in the series so far that I've asked for 3 cards and I haven't busted. But now look, if I stand, I automatically lose because they have higher values than me. So I have to hit again. I want to cuss and I want to throw something across my TV. Not because I lost, but because of how I lost. I lost by 1 value. If I got a 7 or below, I would have won. If I got a 7 or a 5 or a 6, would have been fine. Real quick, let's see if the dealer was gonna get blackjack anyway and render everything null. That could have been mine, but there's always the next hand. Trust and believe, this is the closest I've ever been to breaking my character and just letting loose. In all my years. Oh my god. And it looks like I have a viewer. Hello. So real quick, I'll skim over what's going on. Even though this one person watching probably knows what's going on. I am doing the Gambler 8 challenge in Red Dead Redemption 2. This challenge involves me playing blackjack. I need to ask for 3 cards and win the hand. The rules of blackjack are simple. You want to aim for 21. If you go over 21, you bust. You start with 2 cards by default. Face cards are worth 10. Numbered cards are obvious. Aces are worth either 11 or 1, whichever puts you closer to 21. This challenge is unfair, bordering on impossible, but it needs to be done so I can reach 100% completion. For the achievement and personal satisfaction, as I have grown to greatly appreciate the Red Dead Redemption series. This isn't fun, but I've decided to pass the time by lowering the volume and reading erotic fanfiction while I play the blackjack game. Let's continue with our fanfiction. Finally, she felt willing and able to speak. Abby had filtered through her thoughts. Her panic had subsided somewhat. Some words appeared. What hand do I have? 14? Not good. I am feeling good this session, though. Continuing. Her panic had subsided somewhat. Some words appeared to be available, and she was sure she could manage to say them without screaming. She regulated her breathing. Softened. Oh, also, for the viewer, I am reading The Last of Us 2 erotic fanfiction. The Last of Us Part 2. Abby and Lev, A Modern Relationship, is the title of this fanfiction. She regulated her breathing, softened her facial features, and then relaxed her whole body, as Lev had often schooled her to do. What are you doing, Lev? For his part, starts with a 20. Father Scotland, where are you? For his part, he was surprised she had lasted this long. He had been expecting her to bolt, to slap his hand away, to push herself up and get busy. And she could still do any or all of those things. Her eyes were still closed. He could see her eyeballs flitting restlessly beneath her eyelids. Just also, I think for the sake of I don't know, momentum and sanity, when I inevitably get 1/3 of this challenge, I'll end the video there, because if I keep going, I'm gonna lose hope. So, whenever it happens, and I do get the first of 3, I'm gonna end the video. So these videos could potentially end earlier than planned? I don't really have a plan for these videos, but yeah, planned is the right word. God dang plan. No chance really with a hand like that. Oh god. Continuing. Her eyes were still closed. He could see her eyeballs, flitting restlessly beneath her eyelids, just before they began to tighten again, to fall back into the stressful frown again, as she anticipated his answer. I'm touching your arm, Liv replied, evenly. I'll stop if you ask me to. Silence. A bit of a tip for fanfiction, especially erotic fanfiction. Not that I've read many. This is my first ever erotic fanfiction. When things get detailed, that means things are about to get very bad. Lev chalked that up to a win right there. She didn't ask, and he kept on touching her. He wondered for the 100th time if both of his hands together could bridge the girth of her bicep, unflexed. Also, for my single viewer, if you are typing anything in chat, I can't see it. I run this channel through a Xbox and a phone, so I would normally add up on my phone, but I have to read this through my phone. So, if you're trying to interact with me, I'm sorry, I cannot reciprocate. You'll just have to listen to the story. I'll restart the paragraph. Lev chalked that up to a win right there. She didn't ask, and he kept on touching her. He wondered for the 100th time if both his hands together could bridge the girth of her bicep, unflexed. Jesus Christ. He doubted it. For her part... Sorry, John often distracts me. For her part, Lev's response gave her nothing to work with. She already knew he was touching her, and of course, he would stop if she asked. And if he didn't, she was certainly in a position to make him. Oh my god, it's give me a decent hand to start with, man. I said I'm feeling good. I really wish I could feel happy about winning so many blackjacks, but because of this objectively flawed challenge, I hate it. How does a gambling challenge make you hate winning a gambling game? Isn't that weird? Oh, he got blackjack anyway, so it overruled me. So his answer did not satisfy her question. Perhaps she should have asked why he was doing that. He would say because he wanted to, or it felt nice, and that wouldn't help either. The real ooh, 10. Hold on, I'm gonna pay attention. This is a good hand. I do have to pay attention slightly in this game because I have to make sure if I do get the blessed chance to ask for 3 cards to assess the situation. Only chance is an ace. Just know, one of these days, I'm going to complete this challenge. And will I pop off? No. I didn't pop off when I beat Outlast 2. On Insane. Won't happen here either. But trust and believe, I will be happy. And satisfied. Another freaking 20. Eat my butthole, man. Dingleberries and everything. I'm gonna drink some Snapple real quick. I think that calls for a drink. Yeah, let's. Continuing. The real problem was less about him touching her, and more about how she felt about that. And that was a problem, because she liked it. OFG. Abby liked it. She was so shocked. 19. If it doesn't start him with a 20, it'll start him with a 19. She was so shocked. Her eyes sprang open, and he whispered, "Keep breathing, Abby." And she did. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. This is dangerous, man. This is so dangerous. Her hazel eyes found his brown ones, and they were at once two sides of the same coin. Her all emotion and panic. He, all gentle and serene, but connected all of the sudden. Oh, nice. I have a decent hand for this challenge, and someone gets blackjack. So the only chance, to explain the rules of blackjack a little bit, if other players have blackjack, you can still win the hand if the dealer busts. If the dealer busts, everyone wins. But I got a 10 value anyway, so chances immediately squandered. He, all gentle and serene, but connected all of a sudden. Of course, he wasn't serene, but she didn't need to know that. He was just able to school his physicality more decisively than she could. Also, he was the one pressing buttons, and she was the one being pressed. He wished it didn't have to be this way, but that's the way it is. It was, excuse me. They could go on as they were for 100 years, and Abby would never touch him, even if she had wanted to. Needed to. No. If something was going to happen between them, it would have to be up to Lev. He was moving at glacial speed to signal his intentions. Oh no. Abby was determined to be blind to everything, to willfully misinterpret everything else. He was determined to achieve just one more thing in this interaction. The two were lying on a folded-up tarp for warmth and comfort, face to face. This is especially bad for me because I've played the game, I know these characters, and I can visualize all of this. And that makes this very bad to read. Hold on. Oh, I need another ace, so all hope's lost. And it gives me a 2. Just to stick the toothpick further down my urethra. Anyways. He was determined to achieve just one more thing in this interaction. The two, I restarted the paragraph. The two were lying in a folded-up tarp for warmth and comfort, face to face. Abby on her left side and Lev on his right. Abby's left arm was around Lev's body, his head cradled on her elbow, and her lower arm snaked around his back, and her fingers curled around his waist. Her right arm rested along her side, with her hand resting on her thigh just above her knee. Lev shifted his weight, almost imperceptibly, to release his right hand, and with his left, he fingered his way down her arm, past her elbow, along her forearm, and ghosted over her hand. He picked it up and brought it back to his other hand and held it, while his left hand returned to touching her bicep. Their eyes remained connected. One small step for Lev, one giant leap for Abigail Anderson. What are you doing, Lev? Is my door open? My door isn't open. Good. What are you doing, Lev? And don't say touching me. Was that supposed to be a reference to when Dina says, "You want to see something fantastic?" And then Ellie's like, "Don't point. Are you going to point at your face or something?" I feel like that's a terrible reference to some in-game dialogue with Ellie and Dina. This person have they actually made any references? I'm not sure. They've definitely made some subtle air quotations digs at the reception of the game. Continuing. Keep breathing, Abby. Is that the only? Are those the only 3 words Lev can vocabulate here? Just keep breathing, Abby. Keep breathing. I've got this. Bit of a Factions reference. He reminded her, pushing out his scent to calm and that is. I'm sorry. Every time I read that, I cringe. The whole pheromone thing that this author loves to talk about deeply disturbs me. Oh, nice! I have to compete with a blackjack with a decent hand. It is incredible how this is supposed to be gambling and all artificial and all luck and all chance, but it really deep down feels like they are against you in some mysterious way. Like something I've noticed observing the AI is every time they double down, they get extremely close, if not spot on, to blackjack. Just some observations I've had. Let's see if the dealer overrules this anyways. I'm quite interested. We will stand and fight. Continuing. Pushing out his scent to calm and soothe her. And then added, don't ask questions you already know the answer to. Damn it. He was right. She wished he wasn't. And she wished she wasn't secretly glad that he was. Oh no. Why are you doing it? Again. You already know the answer, Abby. Damn. Damn. She was like a can of worms. Her mind and her stomach all jiggling around uncomfortably. What? Her stomach? What? Chill. She wanted to move, to change things up, to get away from this feeling, but she also knew she didn't. At all. It happened so quickly. Abby moved from wanting to escape, recognizing that she didn't, and then suddenly she wanted more. Abby never wanted more. Not of this. You're broken, remember? You don't do this. Romance, kissing, sex. Wait, who said anything about sex? Oh god. It was like Lev could hear her thought. Oh no. Oh no. So I had my doubts, right? I was hoping. Even though the title is disturbing enough, you know, Abby and Lev, a modern relation. Hold on. These dudes have extremely strong hands. I'm about to freak out. Okay. This dude has a 5. Is he about to get my challenge just for fun? Okay, that's good. That's gosh dang right. Only person that's ever gonna get this challenge done is me! Continuing. Or actually not continuing. Back to what I was saying. So far, this fanfiction has skirted a lot around the subject at hand, that is a deeply illegal relationship between a minor and a grown adult woman. But just that sentence alone tells me that this fanfiction will... It will go there, so... I'm only halfway through this, by the way. We've been reading this for about, what, like an hour and 50 minutes or something? This is only the halfway mark, according to the slider. Who knows, maybe this is just part 1 of this. God help us, God help me. Oh god. It was like Lev could hear her thoughts. Breathe, Abby. She closed her eyes. Information overload. Oh, grow up. He's touching your arm and holding your hand. You're not a virgin. For God's sake. She couldn't believe that she liked it, and she wanted more. She squeezed his fingers lightly, and he squeezed back. Just kiss. Oh, God. Dude. This is harder than any death and gore video I've watched. Oh shoot, hold on. This is a ridiculously strong hand. 5, I think, is the best we've gotten so far, at least in this episode. 1 second. Alright, stand on 19. Alright, I have to beat a 19 potentially, and not go over. Alright, fingers crossed. No 10s. That's good. Could be worse. Actually, no, that is the worst possible. Wait. 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 Wait.
All in all, this is a lesser sin.
I said I wouldn't pop off. And the reason why I've grown very quiet, like I explained in the rules of blackjack, if the dealer gets blackjack, it overrules your hand. The dealer got blackjack. He won the hand. I'm glad we caught it on footage. Back to square one, and back to our fan fiction. I told you. You know what makes it even more poetic? I don't need to pause to say this. You know what makes it even more poetic? That was the first time ever I got the opportunity to win the hand and get a part of the puzzle done. Challenge done. And the only thing that could have stopped it happened. Remember what I said about 5 minutes ago about how this challenge seems to have a mysterious effect of making this supposedly luck and, you know, just no real skill, just all chance gambling game turn everything against you? I think there's enough evidence to say that as fact, eh? Now that I've been drained and blue-balled, and my balls are shriveled like a horse in winter, let's keep reading and keep playing for at least another 50 minutes. Or until it happens. Just kiss him already. Whose voices were these? Inside her head, one saying run, one demanding to kiss him, one trying to even it all out. The voice of reason. That one was. She had a hard enough time when it was just her own voice. F it. Your mother. F it. Alright, cowpokes. This fanfiction is now going to head into what I call the illegal zone. You know how Micah went to the mega gay zone, or the gay zone and then the mega gay zone? We're heading to the illegal zone. So, if you're worried about your view to this potential video being sent to a watch list or by itself or any databases, get out of my stream / YouTube video right now. Because it's about to get illegal. Oh no. Why did I subject myself to this? She took a deep, fortifying breath and held it, while she used their joined hands to push Lev's upper shoulder outwards, turning him over onto his back a little, and she... Yo, this is terrible. This is way too descriptive. Dude. And she rolled forward. Her face was over his, and leaned forward, and pressed her lips to his. It's funny how people are. Abby was... Ooh, Kenny's joined us. Hey, Kenny. Kenny from Telltale's Walking Dead. Abby was panicking until she made a decision to participate. And then she was all calm. And Lev, who had fantasized about this moment forever, now that it was finally here, he freaked out. Perhaps it's just about whoever is in the driver's seat is the most at ease? Sensing this sudden uneasiness, Abby pulled back, but Lev wasn't giving up that easy. He moved his hand from her arm to the back of her neck and pulled her down. They kissed very slowly. I'm gonna drink some Snapple before I gag and throw up. Just gonna take a nice swig of this Snapple. I think I'm gonna put a timestamp in the comment section. It'll just say illegal zone. Timestamp around right now what I'm reading. This is just disgusting. What's even crazier is I'm only halfway done with this story. And this could just be a part 1. Let's play this hand really quickly. Also, I'm definitely going to put in parentheses emotional in this video, because this has been an emotional roller coaster, both within the blackjack game that I'm playing and the fan fiction that I'm reading. Because at first I was just, pretty monotone, not into it. I'm still not into it, or at least not in the correct way, not in the way that you should story. I am now, unfortunately, too far. This is terrible. This is really hard for me, man. This is worse than any Two Girls One Cup, any freaking snuff film. This is trash. Let's continue. Like, you know how I know it's bad? I'm getting itchy now. Like, my face is just getting really itchy. They kissed very slowly. I want you to imagine the sound effect and the deep throat noise of like a tongue of a deep French kiss. Just imagine those noises as I talk. They kissed very slowly. Lev had never kissed anybody in his life, and Abby had only ever kissed Owen. And despite them being together for over 3 years, there wasn't a real lot of that going on either. Mostly chaste kisses? I've never seen that word before in my life. C-H-A-S-T-E. I hope it's pronounced chaste, because that's how I'm going to say it. Mostly chaste kisses? Is it supposed to say mostly just I don't know. I'm going to imagine that is a real word. Mostly chaste kisses, although I have no idea what it means. A few times it went a little further. Not what anyone would call making out. And they had had sex one time. Well, after they had broken up. Just recently, in fact. It wasn't what Abby would call all that enjoyable, given her clit didn't extend at all. And Owen was able to penetrate her. Should have signaled to both of them that this was rather one-sided. But then it always had been. At least the sexual part. But she got through it. That's about all that could be said about it. Owen had confessed that it meant a lot to him. But the only thing it meant to her was regret. And she... As soon as I hear that my value is lowered and I get into, like, a territory where it could be feasible, no. All that I'm experiencing right now is flashbacks to I had it, and then the dealer... You know what I should have gotten up from this table and, like... You know what I should do? I should kill everyone in... I should hog-tie this dude, right? Kill everyone in this establishment, so it's just me and him. Carry him onto my horse. Or carry him outside. Cut him free. Lasso him again. And then drag him throughout the entirety of Blackwater. For what he did to me. But it wasn't his fault. You know? Continuing. Owen had confessed that... oh, wait. But she got through it. That's about all that could be said about it. Owen had confessed that it meant a lot to him, but the only thing it meant to her was regret, and she wasn't going to stab him in the heart by revealing that to him. So she simply said that it meant nothing to her, which stabbed him in the heart anyway. That's people for you. But kissing Lev... It was nothing like kissing Owen. Lev was nothing like Owen. In fact, Abby with Lev didn't feel at all like Abby with Owen. This time, Lev pulled back. 7's good. That's still good. By the way, I just realized that, of course, when things are looking in my favor, I have to compete with a blackjack. Touch my... Whoa, 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 whoa. We're about to end the video early. Hold on. I am going to give a mouth kiss to my friend Cornbread JV. Sit on the left side of the table. Yo, sit on the left side of the freaking table, he said. He said you will have a better opportunity to freaking succeed. This video is getting ended early. This was an emotional roller coaster. We have made it 1/3 of the way there. Sitting on the left side of the table was exactly what I needed to do. Yo, we got the challenge done 2 times in one video, except the first time it was cucked. Remember, I said before I read his advice that I was feeling good about this one. Lo and freaking behold, this was an excellent experience. Freaking fire. And of course, he's still gonna get what he deserves. Everyone's gonna get what they deserve. You kidding me? I freaking won the challenge. Are you joking? Are you smoking meat? Let's freaking go, dude. I'm telling you. Cloud9, 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 bro. Like, you think I'm Kevin? Get the heck over here. Get the heck out of it. Everyone in Blackwater is gonna have to die now. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, shoot. Your mother. That was the police chief right there. Oh my god. Oh, what a good day. Oh, what a good day. What a good day, man. Woo!
Please, what's wrong with you?
Tie this bastard up.
You got the wrong man. My God.
Pick him up, Marston.
Sweet Jesus.
Oh my god, dude. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Me too.
There he is.
Woo! I'll keep doing this till I die, which ain't gonna happen. Hiding? You're out of your mind if you think I'm hiding. What the hell? Ugh. Shut your mouth.
You don't seem to be very good at this.
Get the heck out of here. Where's the miracle? I don't got Craft's Miracle Whip? Oh shoot. We're in trouble then. Oh. Oh, JV, thank you so much. All I needed to do was sit on the left side of the table. Holy heck. Alright, let's get out of here. Where's Lady? That's the name of my horse. Because the last thing that's happening to me is dying. After all that. Woo! Oh, hello, ma'am. No witnesses. much meat has that dude been smoking? We're out of here.
Easy.
This is why Edgar Ross had to capture John. Oh, man. Y'all should come back with us. Restock before you head out. Making a big mistake. Shut the heck up. He cucked me. Blame the blackjack dealer. It ain't my fault. What if I take these dudes back home? I'm gonna head to Beecher's Hope. What's gonna happen? Abigail, darling. Weren't my fault. Them officers set him up. Oh my god, progress. It just took a bit of a good feeling, some advice from a trusted associate. Oh my lord. I'm taking them to Beechers. Look at that aim. Woo! My god. Anyways. Abigail, darling. I hope you have learned to cook. Oh, what a good day. What a good day. Today is such a good day. Yep, man, I am starving. Whew. Whew, whew. Man, I am freaking starving, darling. Oh, Uncle, you made it back safe. Good to see. Woman, give this man what he's owed. That is some food.
That'll fill you up.
Thank you.
This grow's pretty good.
It's gosh dang right. The only thing that would have made this more perfect would be Charles, if Charles came to visit.
You'll catch a chill wave.
Thank you, darling. Shut your mouth, kid. You've earned it, Mr. Marston.